Hi, it's Daniel from Posterboy Printing, giving you another tip on how to get the best output from your print-ready file. So what I'm going to talk about today is a really big one for me. It's flatten your transparencies. So this is a real headache for a number of reasons. So this piece of artwork is a great example. So when you look at this, everything looks great. It looks ready to go. But what I'll point out is there's a number of transparencies, and by transparency I mean like this drop shadow. Okay, so you can see that around here, it's got this white glow, and then around each of these bats they got a little white glow. Okay, so they're all over, looks fine, looks ready to go, but let's pull it into another piece of software over here, and you can see the problem. And so these rectangle shapes, when a transparency is generated by your design software, it doesn't make this little shape. It makes a square, right, and it fills that up with, in this case, a glow or transparent cells, I guess, or transparent pixels. And what can happen is when the RIP software or another piece of design software tries to re-render it, it can make a problem. Now, this isn't typically how it comes out when it goes into a RIP. Let's see if I can. Okay, what it usually does is it oversaturates an area. So if you had a white square, it would turn that black. It's not. There we go. So it would look a bit like this. Let me just throw my own transparency on it. Where is it? Here we go. So I'll put this on. Right, so that's kind of what it would look like. It would make this oversaturated area, and it can be quite hard to spot sometimes. And I have printed on multiple occasions files that look fine, and when they go into the RIP, or even when they go through the pre-flight, these transparencies can sneak through, and they can cause problems that even a printer doing a check won't see, and it's not till the client gets it. And that can be really catastrophic. Like if you're a designer or a marketer and you're working to a deadline, and the printer produces it and everything looks fine, and then the prints arrive to you on time, ready to go, and you notice that there's a problem and they're unacceptable or that they're below standard for some reason, and that reason being a saturation issue caused by transparency. Like that can be a really big problem. Now, what you might have noticed is this little one here, which is still fine. Now, why is that? Now, that's because this transparency has been flattened, and so you can see here, I've just put it on wireframe view. When it's been flattened, it's been made a part of the background, like it's been joined as a JPG or a raster file, and so that glow has been written into the image. Now, I'll show you another example. I've just created one over here. Right, so what I've just made a black square, and I've got these two grey circles, and I've put a white drop shadow on them. So I'll go to wireframe and I'll show you, like that's all it is. Okay, but what you can do, like to flatten this, I would select it, and I would convert this whole thing to a bitmap. Right, and then there it is. So when we look at it, it's not multiple pieces anymore, it's just one piece. Okay, so if someone was going to print this, the raster picks this up as a JPEG. There's no interpolation or re-rendering going on. There's no vector with transparency there. It's just a simple JPEG for the raster, and that is what flattening your transparency does, and that's what it means. If I was doing something like this, and I'll just undo it, right, I'll just grab this text, for example. Right, so let's say this was your piece of artwork, you got a bit of text, and it's sitting over these drop shadows. What I would suggest you do as a designer is grab this text and cut it. Right then, we do the flattening, right, and then we drop that on. And so what that means is the text has stayed a raster. You always want to keep your text as a raster because text has certain demands with resolution, and if you rasterize text, you can just open yourself up to problems and limitations with what you can do with the artwork. So always keep it as raster. So anyway, look, that's what I mean by flattening your transparencies. I hope that helps, and I hope someone gets a bit of value out of that. So thank you.